powers of God.
Because God is a penis. Our congenital gods were like genitals.
Yeah.
Mother Earth is like a big vagina.
Hello, kittens. It's Zoe reporting live from the Slow House. Carry on.
All right. Cool.
Here we are working on Lex's book.
One of cups.
I think we've just learned that God is a penis and that you have to wear the penis. Wait, why do you have to wear the penis?
It's the Kasich chapter in Moby Dick, where it turns out that the person whose job it is to move the blubber around and boil it out in a tripod to get the oil, to protect himself, he actually skins the penis of the whale and then wears that as his bishop's cassock to perform his job. And so and he's told to cut it like Bible leaves, because that's how it makes the job faster. And he makes up a word calling this guy a candidate for an archbishop prick. He makes up a nice 3-part compound Shakespearean word about an archbishop actually being a giant penis. And you look at their clothing, they look like giant penises for a reason. And there's also a reason the Pope wears a dress.
What is the reason the Pope wears a dress?
Because God is a penis.
God is a female, too. He's taking the role of the old female goddesses that the church had to supplant. So they're at least giving a little bit of that side of the energy, or at least the trappings of it.
So only women wear dresses?
In symbology. That's what started it,
the
I
guys
think.
start to
I don't know.
wear pants because they were in tunics pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one theory I heard about. I mean, how they supplanted in that time.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut some things. Not penises. That's not very nice. Even.
But it's a Bible, you know what that means. It's going to be really an influential book. The Bible is.
Yes.
It's not just any book. It's the Bible. It's like kind of big nation.
Luckily, I had just enough mushrooms to think I can do it. You're right. It's a
The only
Bible.
thing I remember is like, you had the answer. Everything. You had the answer.
That's the secret. That's the initiation of the church. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Have to figure out your answers. The little cosmic joke. I don't really know what that means yet, but that's the idea. I told my parents about starting a new religion this weekend. You probably should mention that.
What they say.
Well, now you're also telling untold live viewers in a public space whatever you're about to tell.
Yeah, I don't
Good.
know.
As long as it's not your parents aren't watching.
Anyway.
Untold.
That's the... Nah, we don't have to worry about the church. Should we start looking at this?
Hell yeah.
Alright.
You saw the draw?
I have one viewer.
So you
other
can't...
one?
I can't mention them, though. Like, you can't be there. Hunting elephants. And that's really good. That's really good! Invisible elephants. This is how... Oh, man. Actually, this style, and then one of these guys cut out, or a version of him cut out and put, like, over here in this corner where you... Yeah, something like that. And then another cutout here of him hunting. And then just a photograph of that. Looking in the wrong direction. Maybe a little stop motion with it. That's it. He keeps moving like, oh, that's it. It starts off like that, and you can barely
And then
tell.
just go.
And the scientist is here, and then every frame, scientist, and this pulls out and starts following him down the road. It's good.
That's the idea.
All right, cool. That's good.
We need to do something with video too.
And then take frames from it.
Yeah, like an
explanations.
animation
Yeah.
to explain that.
Hmm.
I was thinking about when I was doing that, like,
Yeah.
what that animation
Doing. I mean, the thing is,
to tell the story really easy.
that's why it's nice to have Muybridge for like. We can so often just do stop motion to get an
Yeah.
idea across to make it sure how fast it is. And we have elephants. Of course, you open up right to the elephants.
And then elephant asses. That's what.
Just like the whale will remain unpainted to the last. That's why they call this book on the history of the graphic novel versions unpainted to the last, because it's just on the third level it's about God and how you can never see what God is. You'll never see God's face. Best you can see his tail. But it's true with any piece of nature. Like, we'll never understand a whale or an ant or the human brain, really. There's always the truth. Melville's most important point, and one of the most important points lost to science, is truth always has a ragged edge. Whether you're looking at an ecosystem, or the cosmic, or the biochemical, or the quantum, like, there's always an error bar this size, and you're never going to get rid of it. Every answered question is going to yield 10 more questions. I mean, that's part of the fun. There's so much we know pretty
but it's
well.
part of the evolution of the knowledge too. It's like till one point, it's like, okay, God is like, I can say God is like a genital, even is God of the godness, and it's how the humanity we go. Like, we reproduce, we have genital life, like really strong. But I think the next level will come. God, we can see something more of God.
Yeah.
Like, try to touch the soul of God. What is behind the genital? Yeah, the genital is life and it's all the physical part, but and we know, yeah, the wind give us like these effects, and we can see and we can study. But what is that?
That's it. The first step in alchemy usually is the marriage of the sun and the moon. That's like your basic, is to get to know your own masculine, feminine side. And I have it about 2/3 of the way through about Crowley and someone else saying that at the basis of all of so many of the initiation rituals, the mysterious ones, is green smoke. And the first step in this path of, getting through magic alchemy, aligning yourself, is the marriage of the sun and moon, maybe helped by cannabis. So maybe we start this off hinting at the marriage of the sun and moon, and then finally explain it far down. God's a penis and a vagina, and to get to the first stage, you have to put those together.
Mm-hmm. And what happens?
Over and over again. Apparently.
And
Yeah.
then the world is created, things
Yeah.
are
Yeah. That would be good to have. It could be the other layer of the mystery. Like, the second layer in this book is the 4 elephants and what each of them stand for. But then the third layer will be the dichotomy of male-female, marriage of the sun and moon. So you have 2 different axes you can take it on. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's remember that. That'll be the secret underpinning.
I have record now.
I know. You don't have to mention it. Just don't mention that it's there. That's the only thing.
Really?
Or hold it.
Don't mention that it's there or
Actually,
hold it.
I don't know. It just, yeah.
not holding
I'm
it.
fine with it. Yeah,
Not
I'm fine
holding
with
it.
it. It needs to not be there. Like, intellectually.
Oh yeah, it's not there.
Because I don't need to think about it.
No.
At least.
Don't worry.
So, yeah. I believes, by believes. It's a fucking Bible. The hand, human hand minus only the thumb. Alright.
okay. It's like the whale.
Alright. Kid gloves. By the way. This
Whale.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, get his fin. That's it.
Fin. What's the word for fin? Wayra? En español?
Ventilador.
God damn it. That is not what the Argentine Virgin taught me, Burning Man. It was like I don't know, but I also learned cuernos.
Cuernos.
Fucking
Nachos.
Spanish. Fucking Spanish. Fucking Spanish. You think
Plenty.
you learn a word, you learn 2 words, and they're not words.
No, cuernos is
Horns.
yeah.
Good.
I know that.
There was another word for fins that I learned, and
Probably.
it definitely wasn't that one.
Yeah, you have to learn Argentinian too if you go to Argentina.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I asked him. But then I couldn't remember the word, and I still can't.
Google it.
I should. That's like a penis.
Yeah, everything is about like a penis now. A whale penis.
A whale penis. And actually, I didn't pull my card for the day either.
Uh-oh.
This one. Tons of tumultuous white curds. And the great measure of grog. Total Melville score? 4. Every time you repeat the first letter in a phrase, you get a Melville point. Tons of tumultuous white curds and the great measure of grog.
I like the great measure of grog. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And what was your... Oh, Bible leaves. Well, we won't mark that one yet. We'll wait for that one.
That is really...
We'll have to figure that one out.
I will put mine here.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so, chickens. Second layer, 4 elephants. Third layer, marriage of sun and moon. That's good. That's good. So, we already went through, you both read the JFK part already.
Yes?
Yes.
And I think we can just, why I was working on the drawings, we can talk about that one later. I have a lot to get through, and there's no way I'm going to get through it all today.
Okay.
And I think the main thing I need to realize is where to stop, where to just cut the whole section. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in here, but it just might not be room, or it's too far off. Or I just need to slim it down to, take the paragraph, turn it into one slippery sentence that's long and crazy, but, if you feel like Googling it, you'll find a really great tale. And I just cut it into Bible leaves.
You have to cut it like the Bible. You know what I mean? The Bible is an easy book to read. Even if I'm not agreeing with most of the things,
Yeah.
I must recognize it has a really easy structure.
See this?
You know what I mean? Like every chapter has history and versicles and things.
Yeah.
And that way you can understand, and also you can go back to that part if you just want something.
Yeah, that's true. Make it, and it's funny because they're
Make it Bible.
Make it Bible-y. Shit. Should I have verses? I should use the word.
No, you should not have verses.
Yeah. His voice, the waterfall.
That will be too many. You already have enough constrictions
Yeah, that's true.
and enough systems to work within.
Never can.
You're no Alan Moore.
You're
You're getting there.
That's good. Bible chapters. And the thing about the Bible is there weren't chapters in the original. This was made up by the church, but it still had that shape to it. And that's the way to write this. Think about it like chapters, but don't actually write the number in. Okay, you're right. That's good. That's why you're this person.
I like this person.
Yeah, she's great. There, how?
Ah, it's not bad. So,
little bit
is the
longer.
JFK section what you're beginning with?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because the flow is so good. 1963, this report, Kennedy's alive, it's great on drugs, he's going to change things, he has secret agents in Russia and Cuba wanting to end all this bullshit, all the pharmaceutical drugs, all the addiction in the world, but no one really knows what addiction is, with the numbers on it, no one's looking at it. The beats were around, but they were really small. And then at the report ending in 1963 with, we have so many more questions. And then 1964 is the year, 1963 is when JFK, Camelot died, so 1964, this is the hint for the rest of the book to explain the whole year, is finally college kids get on board, and that's what changes everything. And it highlighted the fact that we didn't know what THC was. We had no structure yet, we couldn't synthesize it yet. We had most of the structure, but there were certain parts that we didn't know where double bonds were. It wasn't fully characterized. And so then Wayra's awesome. And then to end that section with the secretly most important thing in the book in one way is the Venn diagram of all the different drugs. And our little symbol for them in our allegorical ecosystem. There. You know? It's perfect because it has, like, your 4 main types of elephants, in fact. Antipsychotic, stimulant, depressant, hallucinogen. And we're going to make reference to each of these drugs in the course of the book and explain the science of them. And we have to figure out which animal will represent it that works like this. And this one is... And so that's why I list here, you know, weed can make you feel like coffee, opium, mushrooms, belladonna, tea, or just being high. And it's going to be fun, like, filling in all those gaps. And, like, every time you see the Venn diagram again, you'll just see the symbol of the animal. And the new thing will be labeled. And maybe there'll be a line to it to explain it, or not. But it'll be a nice little symbology. For
Nice. I like that.
And that's all just the intro. So, it's gonna be setting up the politics of what was happening during the time of the scientific hunt, and then it'll close with that at the very end again. But in between is the science story. Because the other thing that happened in 1964, which I think is where I ended the section I sent to you, is the cancer report came out, like the one that changed everything, and made it clear that this was terrible.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's. I think I have to leave this in. I almost have it fully illustrated, and it's just so good. I hope it's not too long, but, you know, this is going to be a book in itself. If I have it written and it won't take long to illustrate it, I should just put it in if it's really a beautiful piece. If it's something that almost anybody would know, or you can find, like, an article about it like that when you Google it, maybe I don't need to include it. But if it doesn't seem like it's, like, common knowledge too much, then I'm going to put it in now. It's a jewel that I think people would appreciate.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I have to... Anyway, this is the nicotine chapter. The questions pile up for the ethnobotanists and the biochemists alike. For instance, what made tobacco and snuff the stuff of empires? And Schultes, the great ethnobotanist, like the first ethnobotanist, just asked people how they used their plants. I'm not sure about the... Well, anyway. He said the ethnobotanical researcher must realize that far from being a superior individual, he, the civilized man, is in many ways far inferior. Which is nice to hear from, like, the Western scientist on learning about plants. Each plant that's gotten someone human high for hundreds of thousands of years now, when finally placed beneath the microscope of modern chemistry, helps reveal our own brain. The active ingredients of these old plants, finally cornered in a test tube, have revealed how our own biochemical feedback systems work. Some not yet even imagined. The story of nicotine well illustrates the many levels of knowledge that must be crossed before a chemical is known. The many fields involved in attempting a complete chart of its actions. In 1828, the German chemist Postel and Riemann isolated nicotine from tobacco and considered it a poison. Indeed, it remained a major insect pesticide for almost 50 years after World War II. But isolation of the active ingredient is only the first step. Just because you caught a snake in a box, it doesn't mean you know what it looks like. Which, yeah. And so, that kind of illustration of, I think that would be like one page there. That's like one paragraph of ideas, and you just draw one beautiful, unknown, homunculus tobacco snake type thing, and we just build it around whatever image you like.
I love that tobacco is a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was about a third of this.
And
but,
in a way, yeah. Tobacco goes with these things.
Yeah. I'm really proud of this section, in fact. It really is like a good, how the snake fits, and like how tobacco fits into this whole question. Like the other smokable plant, and the other plant that's been used to like cause so much harm in the world. Like tobacco by itself does, then all the industry around tobacco, you know, it's the worst plant to raise. It's probably the hardest plant, and this is what they grew where I grew up. In 1843, Melzens chopped up nicotine, weighed its elements, and thus described its chemical formula: 10 carbons, 14 hydrogens, and 2 nitrogens. It took 50 years until Pilner and Wolfenstein achieved the next step of knowledge, the structure. With a host of chemical trips to illuminate the never-visible molecules at the bottom of the test tube. I repeat myself too much saying how invisible the bottom of the test tube is. I have to get rid of most of them, but I've said it so many ways because I want to get the best one. But it's invisible elephants at the bottom of the world. Like, how do you see that? That's the whole joke of the entire chapter, is this is hunting for elephants with shitty invisible elephants with shitty telescopes, and trying to figure out their ecosystems. And it turns out they don't only have ecosystems, they also have entire city-states with politics and gender roles and all kinds of fucked up shit and beautiful art going on amidst these elephants, and you're trying to characterize them with shitty telescopes on Mars.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a work session on Lex's book. I will turn it off. If you want more, go to lexpelger.com, and there is a free sample chapter there.
Queers.
Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, the queers will like it. Bye.